Munich is a paradox, a magnificent and deeply civilized contradiction. It is famously known as the Millionendorf, the village of a million people, and no phrase better captures its unique and enchanting soul. It is a city of immense wealth, global influence, and cultural treasures that rival any in Europe, yet it carries itself with the relaxed, unhurried, and almost provincial air of a much smaller town. It is a place where cutting-edge technology and centuries-old tradition, sleek glass towers and rustic beer gardens, high art and hearty folk festivals, laptops and lederhosen, all coexist in a state of remarkably harmonious balance. To arrive in Munich on a warm July day is to be immediately immersed in this spirit. The city's true pulse is not found in the hurried rush of a financial district, but in the gentle, democratic hum of the English garden. Here on the green banks of the Eisbach, a man-made river, you will see a sight that perfectly encapsulates the city's character: surfers, clad in wetsuits, queuing patiently to ride a perfect standing wave, just a stone's throw from the grand museums and opera houses. A little further into the park, under the shade of ancient chestnut trees at the Chinese Tower Beer Garden, you will see company executives in suits sharing long wooden tables with students, families, and pensioners, all united in the simple, civilized ritual of enjoying a liter of beer. This is the essence of Munich's Gemütlichkeit, a word that translates imperfectly as coziness, conviviality, and a feeling of good-natured belonging. But this relaxed, charming surface belies a history of immense ambition, artistic passion, and profound, often tragic, complexity. Munich's story is the story of a powerful dynasty's dream to build a new Athens on the banks of the Isar River, of a city that became the cradle of one of history's darkest movements, and of a remarkable post-war rebirth into a beacon of prosperity and liberal values. To truly know Munich is to look beyond the cheerful facade of the beer garden and discover the deep, rich, and often challenging layers of history and culture that make it one of the most fascinating and livable cities in the world. For over 700 years, from the 12th century until the end of the First World War, the destiny of Munich was shaped by a single, powerful dynasty, the Wittelsbachs. It was their ambition, their tastes, and their vast collections that transformed Munich from a modest monastic settlement. Its name, München, derives from the Old German word for Monksintho, a splendid European capital of art and culture. The city is, in essence, the architectural and artistic legacy of this long-reigning family. The historic and spiritual heart of their city has always been the Marienplatz, the main square. It is a grand, open stage, dominated by the fantastically ornate facade of the Neues Rathaus, the new town hall. This 19th-century neo-Gothic masterpiece is a theatrical celebration of Bavarian history, its facade teeming with statues of dukes, kings, and allegorical figures. Its most beloved feature is the Glockenspiel. Twice a day, its intricate clockwork figures perform two stories from the city's past: a jousting tournament celebrating the 16th-century wedding of Duke Wilhelm V, and the legendary Schäffler-Tanz, the Cooper's Dance, which is said to have been first performed to lure citizens back into the streets after a devastating plague. The Glockenspiel is a daily, charming ritual, a mechanical performance that keeps the city's history alive. In the center of the square, the Mariensäule, a golden statue of the Virgin Mary, stands atop a tall column, giving the square its name and watching over the city as its patroness. From the Marienplatz, it is a short walk to the vast, sprawling complex of the Residenz, the palace that served as the seat of the Wittelsbach rulers for centuries. The Residenz is not a single, unified building, but a fascinating and complex accretion of different structures, courtyards, and gardens, built and rebuilt over 600 years. To wander through its rooms is to take a journey through the evolving tastes and ambitions of the dynasty. One of its most breathtaking spaces is the Antiquarium. Built in the late 16th century by Duke Albrecht V to house his collection of classical sculptures, it is the largest and most magnificent Renaissance hall north of the Alps. Its long vaulted ceiling is covered in a vibrant and almost overwhelming display of frescoes, its windows looking out onto perfectly manicured gardens. Tucked away within the Residenz is another, more intimate jewel, the Cuvilliers Theatre. This small, exquisite theater, designed by the brilliant architect François de Cuvilliers in the 1750s, is a masterpiece of the Rococo style. Its 4 tiers of boxes, decorated in a whirlwind of gilded carvings, red velvet, and intricate stucco work, create a feeling of immense, almost fairy tale-like opulence. It was here that Mozart's opera Idomeneo premiered in 1781. The theater was completely dismantled and its precious carved panels hidden away for safekeeping during the Second World War, and then painstakingly reassembled, a testament to the city's love for its artistic treasures. While the Wittelsbachs had always been patrons of the arts, it was in the 19th century, under the rule of King Ludwig I, that Munich was truly transformed into a monumental city of culture. Ludwig was a passionate Philhellene, obsessed with the art and architecture of ancient Greece and Rome. He dreamed of turning his capital, Munich, into a new Athens on the Isar. He embarked on an ambitious building program that fundamentally reshaped the city's urban landscape. His grandest vision was the Königsplatz, the King's Square. This vast neoclassical forum was designed to be a modern acropolis, a celebration of classical culture. It is framed by 3 magnificent buildings in the Greek style: the Glyptothek, a museum for his collection of Greek and Roman sculpture, the State Collection of Antiques, and the Propylaea, a monumental gateway modeled on the entrance to the Acropolis in Athens. Ludwig also commissioned the construction of the Ludwigstrasse, a grand ceremonial boulevard lined with stately buildings in a neoclassical Italian style, and, most importantly, the Alte Pinakothek. This vast art gallery, one of the first purpose-built public museums in the world, was created to house the Wittelsbachs' priceless collection of old master paintings. Ludwig I's passion for classicism gave Munich its grand, stately, and slightly austere architectural character. This legacy of high art and royal patronage forms one of the 2 great pillars of Munich's identity. The other, equally important pillar, is beer. It is impossible to understand Munich without understanding its profound and joyful relationship with its most famous beverage. Beer is not just a drink in Munich, it is a social lubricant, a cultural institution, and a fundamental part of the city's soul. This relationship is best experienced in the city's most beloved public space, the beer garden or beer garden. The beer garden is the city's great democratic institution. In the shade of vast ancient chestnut trees, people from all walks of life, students, families, business people, tourists sit together at long wooden tables. The tradition is one of relaxed self-service. You buy your 1-liter stein of beer, the Mass, directly from the stall, and you are permitted, even encouraged, to bring your own food. This simple rule creates a wonderful communal atmosphere. Strangers share tables, conversations spark up, and the rigid social hierarchies of the outside world seem to melt away. The beer garden is the beating heart of Munich's summer life, the ultimate expression of Gemütlichkeit. The apotheosis of this beer culture is, of course, Oktoberfest. This world-famous 16-day festival, held every year from late September to early October, is the largest folk festival on the planet. Its origins are surprisingly romantic. It began in 1810 as a public celebration of the wedding of Crown Prince Ludwig, the future King Ludwig I, and Princess Therese of Saxe-Hildburghausen. The celebration, which included a horse race, was so successful that it was repeated the following year, and a tradition was born. Today, Oktoberfest is a global phenomenon, attracting over 6 million visitors a year. The festival takes place on a vast open space known as the Theresienwiese. It is a world of giant temporary beer tents, each one run by one of Munich's 6 major breweries and capable of holding thousands of people. Inside, brass bands play traditional Oompa music. Servers carry an impossible number of heavy beer steins, and the atmosphere is one of loud, joyous, and often boisterous revelry. Many attendees, both local and international, dress in traditional Bavarian costume, or tracht, the men in lederhosen, the women in dirndls. It is a spectacular, overwhelming, and uniquely Munich experience. Today, Oktoberfest is a global phenomenon, attracting over 6 million visitors a year. The festival takes place on a vast open space known as the Theresienwiese. It is a world of giant temporary beer tents, each one run by one of Munich's 6 major breweries and capable of holding thousands of people. Inside, brass bands play traditional Oompa music, servers carry an impossible number of heavy beer steins, and the atmosphere is one of loud, joyous, and often boisterous revelry. Many attendees, both local and international, dress in traditional Bavarian costume, or tracht, the men in lederhosen, the women in dirndls. It is a spectacular, overwhelming, and uniquely Munich experience. The apparent contradiction between this populist, beer-fueled folk culture and the city's refined world of high art is one of the most fascinating aspects of Munich's character. Yet, for the Münchner, there is no contradiction at all. The same city that celebrates its old masters in the hushed, reverent halls of the Alte Pinakothek also celebrates its master brewers in the loud, cheerful tents of Oktoberfest. The city's three great art museums, the Pinakotheken, form one of the most important art complexes in the world. The Alte Pinakothek is a treasure house of European painting from the Middle Ages to the 18th century, with masterpieces by artists like Albrecht Dürer, Peter Paul Rubens, and Rembrandt. The Neues Pinakothek showcases the art of the 19th century, from the German Romantics to the French Impressionists. And the Pinakothek der Moderne, a brilliant white building of minimalist design, covers the 20th and 21st centuries, housing 4 separate museums of modern art, design, architecture, and works on paper. To spend a day moving between the profound contemplation of the art galleries and the communal conviviality of a beer garden is to experience the full, rich spectrum of Munich's soul. However, no portrait of Munich can be complete without confronting its darkest chapter. The same city that prides itself on its relaxed tolerance and Gemütlichkeit was also the cradle of Nazism. In the turbulent years after the First World War, the political instability and economic chaos of the Weimar Republic made Munich a hotbed of extremist politics. It was here that Adolf Hitler joined a small, obscure party and transformed it into the Nazi Party. It was in the city's beer halls, particularly the Hofbräuhaus, that he gave his early hate-filled speeches. And it was in Munich, in 1923, that he launched the failed beer hall putsch, his first attempt to seize power. After Hitler became chancellor in 1933, he declared Munich the capital of the movement, Hauptstadt der Bewegung. The city became a major administrative and ideological center for the Nazi regime. A vast new party complex was built on the Königsplatz, the very square that Ludwig I had designed as a celebration of classical humanism. The noble Greek temples were forced to serve as a backdrop for Nazi rallies and parades. The former Nazi party headquarters, the Brown House, stood here, and the nearby Führerbau was where the infamous Munich Agreement, which betrayed Czechoslovakia to Hitler, was signed in 1938. But even in this dark time, another braver side of Munich's character revealed itself. The city was also a center of resistance. The most famous of these resistance groups was the White Rose, Weiße Rose, a small group of students at the University of Munich, led by the siblings Hans and Sophie Scholl. Horrified by the atrocities of the regime, they wrote and distributed a series of leaflets calling for passive resistance against the Nazis. In 1943, they were caught after dropping leaflets into the main atrium of the university. They were arrested by the Gestapo, subjected to a show trial, and executed by guillotine just days later. Their quiet intellectual courage stands as a powerful testament to the fact that another Germany, a Germany of humanism and conscience, was still alive even in the darkest of times. Today, Munich confronts this difficult past with honesty and rigor. The NS Documentation Centrum München, Nazi Documentation Center, is a stark white minimalist building that now stands on the site of the former Brown House. It serves as a place of learning and remembrance, detailing with unflinching clarity the rise of the Nazi movement in the city. The city does not hide its scars, it uses them to educate future generations, a necessary and painful act of self-examination. Munich's rebirth after the devastation of the Second World War was remarkable. The city was rebuilt, its historic landmarks faithfully restored. It became a powerhouse of the German economic miracle, a center for high-tech industries, with companies like BMW and Siemens making it their headquarters. The city's modern identity was brilliantly showcased to the world when it hosted the 1972 Summer Olympics. The Games were intended to present a new, democratic, and optimistic Germany. While this new image was tragically marred by the terrorist attack on the Israeli athletes, the Olympic Park, with its futuristic tinsel-roofed stadium, remains a beloved part of the city. The modern spirit of Munich is perhaps best captured by the marketing slogan, "Laptops and Lederhosen." It perfectly encapsulates the city's ability to be a global hub of innovation and finance, while fiercely preserving its traditional Bavarian culture. It is a city where you are just as likely to see a business executive with a laptop as you are to see a family in traditional tracht heading to a festival. This unique blend is lived out in the city's great green heart, the English Garden, one of the largest urban parks in the world. Here, the entire spectrum of Munich life is on display, from the surfers on the Eisbach to the quiet paths that lead deep into a seemingly endless forest. In the final analysis, Munich's true genius may lie in what the Germans call Lebenskunst, the art of living. It is a city that has managed to reconcile its many contradictions into a remarkably pleasant and functional whole. It is a place that believes with a quiet confidence that it is possible to have both world-class art and a frothy Liederstein of beer, to be a center of global industry and a city of relaxed, human-scale pleasures, to confront a difficult past and to build a prosperous and tolerant present. This civilized, comfortable, and deeply cultured approach to life is what defines the Munich experience. It is a city that, for all its grandeur and history, ultimately feels like a very pleasant place to be, a village of 1 million people that has mastered the art of living well.